Oh no, that's how Iko Makanuchi got defeated by Date in the championship fight of Hajime no Ippo. But literally, he has a heart punch. You twist in between heartbeats. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with the penultimate episode of Fate Zero. We come back with a board, and we come back with comments apropos of notes. We get so many informative comments that we don't actually have to take notes anymore. So let's start as we normally do with the board, which is going to be relatively short, because the changelog, like, not a lot happens relationship-wise last episode. No. I marked Iskander as dead, and Mithrinus as dead. I connected Waver to Gilgamesh with a white line. And that's basically it.
Yeah. Being set up for Berserker versus Saber.
Well, not being set up. It was happening already last episode. It just hadn't concluded yet.
Yeah. And Rider versus Archer, and Archer, Gilgamesh killed Iskander. So, Iskander. So, Alexander. Which I think ultimately is going to be Gilgamesh against Saber. See how that goes.
Brilliant deduction. That you didn't think Berserker was going to defeat Saber, and it would be Archer versus Berserker at the end.
I mean, they already fought, and Berserker couldn't touch Gilgamesh. So.
No, I'm just saying that your deduction is that the main character wasn't going to die this fight.
It would be interesting if they did, since they're a construct. But, doesn't stop them from being another version of them is going to come up in another one of the shows. So they could kill her.
We've already addressed that in previous discussions. I'm just saying that your read on the scenario, the fact that you're also drawn as Saber. No, it just seems ridiculous at this point to even suggest that Saber isn't going to wind up fighting Archer.
Interesting. I don't recall that Gilgamesh was known to be actually a great archer. Maybe he was.
Doesn't matter. It's just roles that they're filling in.
Yeah, I know, but still. Fate Zero has been very good at the theme, hitting the themes, right? The general themes of the characters and what they're supposed to do. So. And not as mythologically incorrect as one would think.
I don't know. Something that keeps coming up in stuff that I've been watching lately. I think noticed him first off when a quote from Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries. The further you get away from the source of the mythology, the more vague it becomes and whatnot, because they're referring to like a moon goddess or something from someone else's mythology. It's not even their religion, their mythology. I can't remember, some other show it came up in again, like almost immediately. Yeah. The problem is one of I can't remember what the metaphor is. Mattress commercials. The moment you need a mattress, all you notice are mattress commercials.
Oh, okay. It took me a second to oh yeah, it's like finding the red car in the highway. Like, oh, I'm looking for a red car, and all of a sudden you notice all the red cars that were already there. Or the GTA spawn issue where, the moment you're looking for something, all of a sudden start spawning those things. But
or it doesn't.
To be
the problem
or the opposite. Or the opposite, they don't spawn, Yeah.
Yeah, so the moment that I heard that and I made a note about it in my notes, I noticed it in all these other shows all of a sudden. All right, we'll also have comments, but before we do that, I'll say up front, thank you once again to SebTQ for sponsoring these. And then our first comment is from SebTQ.
Thank you, SebTQ, yeah.
From the Patreon, from the episode, All of This World's Evil. Appreciated that Theta did read Kirai's prank in My Boy Kiria correct. Unlike Sakura's exceptional affinity to magecraft, those worm eventually coexist instead of consuming her flesh, but Kiria suffering from worm this whole time like any normal person would, and he did know he will lose his body from them pretty soon. Author makes every good altruistic people suffer in this show to emphasize on his desperation about desperation. Yeah, so it says desperation about both good/evil aspects of human nature. I think, which I like a lot. Understandable for lessons who don't have the context from first season, like what I mentioned from the comments from far earlier. Things I like about Type of Moon is the more context you know, it expand and lift your viewing point. I believe there must be better and genius literate/art than this. Huh. Sorry, that didn't make sense to me. I would think that they would be saying that I don't believe that there is greater art than this, but okay. The more hidden picture can be realized, they could greatly change your view on all sort of things. For example, how you view a single character like Gilgamesh to what is the meaning of existence. All, if not almost all, Type of Moon's products have such depth that can be dig into, mostly because they share the same basic world setting and logics. They do not simply create new terms/concepts like usual anime, but only use those relatable to our reality to dramatize the story. Every different story depicted a part of a timeline in the same human history hierarchy. And finally, next episode, Rider vs. Archer, the fight I liked the most because of how good they depict a clash of ideal and reality.
Yeah. I mean, or competing ideals, I suppose. You think about it.
Well, the problem here, not here. Here is in the past. There is where we were. That doesn't make sense either. Anyway, the problem the problem there is that, well, no, because an ideal is an ideal and reality is reality. If one of you gets proven right, then the ideal is no longer an ideal. The person who's right is reality.
Yeah, but both of these characters represent their own ideal or philosophical
they
versions
represent
of
ideology. Sorry, I won't interrupt.
So it's a clash of them. One of them will win, perhaps, but how they win and what happens, because the underlying reality is the reality of their masters who want to gain the grail and do all that, but that in many ways is separate from why the constructs are fighting, as I understand it. Because yes, they're fighting because they are being told to fight, but they also have found reasons why they want to fight in the first place. So the ideology of Gilgamesh is I am the king of kings, right? I already control everything. There's nothing better than me. Saber is the idea that control and kinship should be the idea of sacrifice. Like you serve your people. That's why you are made to be a monarch or a leader. And without that, there's no reason for it, right? So it's two competing ideologies. One is like kingship is a thing unto itself that shows how good you are and that you're better than everyone else. The other one is like, no, it's kind of the opposite. It's leadership in the form of kingship is the need to have a leader in times of crisis and to be able to sacrifice yourself if necessary for your people, right? So those are the two.
You need to go back and watch episode 11 at some point on your own.
Yeah.
I think you'd really get a kick out of that one too, because that is the discussion episode where they come together and they discuss the different beliefs and whatnot. Two things. Gilgamesh is not being controlled. Gilgamesh is manipulating. He is in control of his own situation. Yeah, I want to correct that. And two, my point was ideal is something you strive for to prove to be true, right? Versus reality is what is true. So if two clashing ideals come to head and only one of them wins out, well, that is the reality.
Yeah, but it's still firmly rooted on
ideal is no different from hope. Just because you hope something is true doesn't make it true. Reality and hope are also different things.
One could argue that one is imposing one's ideals upon reality and shifting reality in order for it, or convincing yourself that that's the way it's supposed to be anyway.
If you impose your ideal on reality, you make it reality. And then everybody else's reality shifts to become that reality. They can have ideals, but again, ideals are like hopes. unless you make them true, I hope they become true.
Maybe that's the whole point of the Grail, right? The bringing the wish true is the literally imposition of your ideal on reality. Shift reality so that it becomes what you want it to be.
I would say no, only from the position of there's no suggestion that the servants exist beyond the Grail War, and the servants are your entire ability to. No, I'm saying your servants are your only ability to make that reality. So once they are gone at the end of the Grail War, you are just as beholden to everybody else. Unless you got some sort of weird magical powers, which do exist in this world. But
no, but acquiring the Grail is supposed to grant you your wish, right?
As far as we know, some of these comments have been really weird about what goes on after that.
So if that's the case, then regardless who happens to manipulating who at any one moment, the masters, the controllers, they are fighting for the Grail for their own ideologies, and the Grail ostensibly could give them the power, if they choose to do so that way, and that's how it's supposed to work, to make their ideals a reality by virtue of magical power, right?
Right, you're saying this in a way that makes me think we're arguing something, but we're not, because that's been the whole point that I've been arguing too.
Yeah, but by that point, you don't need your summons anymore. You just
right. You're bringing up the recent statement that I made, but that what you're saying there about the Grail is literally what I've been talking about the whole time, about the difference between idealism and reality. If you're making your ideal reality through the Grail, then that's exactly what I've been saying the entire time about the difference between the two.
Which begs the question, what does Gilgamesh really want? Does he want to be real?
He said no.
Real?
No. I mean, well, one thing, they are technically real in that each one remembers all the other ones, but they're different people.
Yeah, but make himself permanent in the real world.
No, he doesn't. That was Iskander's thing. He wanted to be real so that he could then launch into a world conquest, as he stated. Gilgamesh has stated that the entire world from beginning of time to the end of time is his garden. So I don't think it matters to him.
But if the war's over, then this version of him would
just go back to
be, I guess.
The root, I believe, is what the comments have called it before.
He goes to the root, so it doesn't matter anymore whether he believes anything. He's just not there anymore to affect the real world.
Well, he finds everyone to be like fucking dirty and whatnot. He don't think he wants to hang out with us anyway. He goes back to, I don't know, Phantasm, where he has the best of everything.
Well, I guess he could just, if that's the case, then he could just have surrendered. Well, I guess his ego. He doesn't have an ideal. He just has an ego.
No,
his ego will not let him.
Yeah, I would say one thing, he would never just surrender.
Yeah.
He's not going to give up. He has to maintain his ideal that he is the best of everything. So, the moment he entered the competition, he had to win.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't care to compete.
Which has been his whole attitude from the beginning. He's like, I don't know how to deal with these. Okay, fine. I guess I'll have to deal with you. Because you made me.
Well, no, I mean, think back to the fight at the waterway against the weird guy.
Crazy clown, yeah.
Castor. Couldn't remember his name. Castor. Where he was just sitting there, and the other guy was like, do something. And he was like, I don't want to get my shit dirty. These are infidels, or whatever the fuck he called them.
Yeah.
I'm here to win, but I'm not here to get my hands dirty. Alright, well, next up we have Alex V9, also from the Patreon, from the episode The Ocean at the End of the World. Hey guys, I'm back on Patreon. For now. Before I share my notes, it seems strange to me that the reaction to episode 22 wasn't posted on YouTube, so out of curiosity, I decided to check out Patreon, and who knew it, you just posted episode 23. It's a shame I couldn't comment for episode 22, so I'm doing it now. Now let's begin. Notes for episode 22, no spoiler, even though it was posted before the episode you're posting. Anyway. 1. Well, there wasn't much to comment on in that episode that hadn't already been said, but here's something of interest. In Fate, the epithet King of Kings is a title given to all kings who have done great things, either for themselves or for their people. For instance, Saber and Ryder also share it because that was what they meant to their people. The true epithet of Gilgamesh is King of Heroes, due to his position as the first hero and prototype for all of those who came after him in the following eras. The epithets of the other servants of this war are Saber Astoria, King of Knights, Rider Iskander, King of Conquerors, Berserker Lancelot, Knight of the Lake, Lancer Diramond, of the Love Spot, Caster Gilles de Reyes, the Demon Marshal, Assassin Hassan, of the 100 Faces. Let's play a game. I'll give you some servant epithets from the franchise, which may or may not be in some anime adaptation, and try to guess who they could be. Don't search on the internet. I'm going to paste some of these to you. It's like, I don't know how to pronounce this. One at a time. You say it.
La Pucelle? La Pucelle?
You know who that is?
I think that's the killer clown. Yeah.
That's not from this show. I mean, it's not from this. It might be other series. So yeah, no.
I've heard it before.
Literally just covered Gilles de Reyes. It was in the previous thing about epithets. Yeah. I've never heard
it before. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Okay, well then we can't guess that one because I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, but right now I just like I heard that name before. Of course, I've read this before, but I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Wait. These are their epithets. So we would be guessing. Yeah. No, we would be guessing who the person is. Mm-hmm. Can you guess who that would be referring to?
Well, I said the killer clown. Yeah.
Well, no. Again, unless you're referring to somebody other than Gilles de Reyes from the show we've already been watching.
Yeah.
Because we know that's not him. Because I just read to you that his was the Demon Marshal. Yeah, the Demon Marshal. That's
yeah, but I understand that maybe then this may be a epithet from another show.
Okay, let me reread you the description again before, because apparently you were just like asleep when I was reading it. Let's play a game. I'll give you some servant epithets from the franchise, which may or may not be found in some anime adaptation, and try to guess who they could be. So, Gilles de Reyes was a fucking stupid guess. Try again, or just pass.
Pass, because that's the only one that comes into mind.
Well, I don't know what that means. Not what you're saying, but I mean what that, the Pucelle or whatever. I don't know what that means to even make a guess. All right.
I heard it before, but
next up, the Angel of Crimea.
So Crimea. St. George?
I don't know anything St. George related has to do with Crimea.
No. Man, I know because it's a very famous part of Ukrainian history, but oh man,
I don't know anybody from Ukrainian history.
Yeah. St. George will be the closest thing, but St. George is known in Georgia and in Britain as a slayer of dragons. So he was the king of dragons, not the
king of dragons.
Angel of Crimea. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know St. George the Dragon Slayer, not the King of Dragons.
Gotta pass on that one too.
The Flying General. I mean, I would guess something to do with like a winged hussar or something like that, but I don't know anything here either.
Yeah, the Polish winged hussars. I don't know who the leader of them was. And I don't think it was a general, it was a regiment. The Polish regiment of winged hussars. Unless he's talking about King Gustav in the second battle of because he relieved what was the capital of Austria? Geneva or Vienna, the second battle of Vienna, I think it is.
I think we're just finally proving how bad we are with history in that you can't remember anybody, and mine is so surface level that I only know the names of historical people that like literally rise to the top. Mine
I think it has to be King Gustav.
My knowledge is big man history, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's the closest I think is King Gustav. Yeah, the Battle of Vienna. Yeah, second Battle of Vienna.
Demon King of the Sixth Heaven.
Monkey? No, he's never described as Demon King.
I think sometimes he is. I think he has many names. He has such a long list of names. If you're thinking of Wukong, you're thinking of, right?
Wukong, yeah, the Monkey King, the Sage of all heaven.
Here's the problem: what I'm thinking of while you're brainstorming here is that I'm thinking anything in Chinese history, and not obviously because one problem here is Wukong is mythology, not right. So
History. Yeah.
and like Warring Kings. What am I thinking of?
Warring States?
Warring States period. So
Yeah.
many fucking historical famous people. I would not even.
I mean, there's Warring States. There's the Ottoman Spring
You know what? I'm
period
just
as
gonna
well.
throw shit at the wall. Probably 100% wrong. Lubu.
Could be from the Warring States period. Yeah.
Oh wait, Demon King of the Six Seven. Maybe it's Oh god, I can't remember his name. Well, actually, I'd be wrong. I'm thinking of Japan history, not Chinese history. Well, I don't know. Nothing specifically says it has to be.
Although
Chinese.
the Japanese are very fond of that period as well.
Well, no, what was his name? One of the kingdoms tries to overthrow the it's the emperor or the shogunate. Sorry, I'm just misremembering everything all of a sudden. And they pass through his territory, and he defeats them, and then goes on to defeat the shogunate himself. Gets killed by his closest advisor, who then goes on to fight an entire war.
Nobunaga.
Nobunaga. There we go.
Nobunaga, yeah.
Yeah, see, I can remember the set pieces. I couldn't remember their names.
Yeah.
Okay, Lubu or Nobunaga, that's my guess. What was yours?
I was going with Wukong, so...
It's
on Wukong.
I think Wukong is too mythological, not a person.
Well, Arthur is very mythological as well. So
well, no. The show sets up that Arthur was a real person.
Yeah, but
that's the conceit of this: is that these are all real people, and if they aren't, we're saying that they are.
Yeah.
Dragon-blooded knight.
Yeah, I think that would be. I always say St. George.
I don't think it's St. George because St. George was a dragon slayer. It would be dragon-blooded. Unless that movie Dragonheart was about a real person.
Yeah, dragon-hearted knight. So that implies the West. Not any of the. I don't know of any of the knights of the Round Table that were dragon-related. I think one of them, Percival, I think killed a dragon, but that was about it.
Gotta keep my hands up because they'll want to Google the movie Dragonheart to see what the characters' names were.
Yeah.
Let me say Sean Connery.
Yeah, no.
Well, he voiced the dragon anyway.
Either St. George or Percival, one of the two.
I don't know Percival having anything dragon related.
I think he killed a dragon in the quest for the Grail. One of the things that he did.
Well, I definitely think it's not St. George, but I don't have a guess either because I can't. I'm just gonna say it's whatever Dragonheart was about, and then if they come back in another comment and they're like, it's actually this guy, and I'm gonna Google it, and if that guy is the guy Dragonheart, then boom, I'm gonna count it as right. Master of Heroes.
Master of Heroes. That's an interesting epithet.
It's too general for me to get anything out of.
Dumas, who was a general, in fact, and wrote about, the Three Musketeers and all those heroic stories. It could be Dumas.
I don't know. You would call an author a master, though. Also, that also seems like it'd be a weird epithet for, I don't know when they were written. When they were
17th century, yeah.
19th century black man who's trying to push off.
17th century.
Who's trying to, throw on independence to be called.
Dumas was a French general. He was not. You're talking about someone else. You're talking about Haiti, which Dumas never fought in Haiti.
No. I'm just leaning towards the what do you want this epithet to be? Master.
Oh, Master of Heroes. Sounds like a writer rather than a warrior.
No, I'm indicating it doesn't sound like a writer at all to me. I think you'd have a different, clever turn of phrase if you were a writer. Not because you're a writer, but because master just doesn't imply that to me. It's so general, I have no guess. The other ones at least give me, location-based stuff. Master of Heroes. You might as well say King of Kings and, guess. Well, Jesus? King of...
Yeah.
I get nothing from Master of Heroes. Like, I'm
that would
assuming
be
you
a
could probably
flex.
tell me who it is at this point, and I'd be like, I don't know.
That would be a flex. Well, Jesus would never fail. Test is like, oh, you kill him, you destroyed him. 3 days later, he's come back. Like, oh,
Well,
I
I
thought
mean,
you were going to
you
kill
say
me.
that unless the Grail War was over in 2 days. He couldn't come back. It wouldn't matter if he came back in 3 days. Also, a lot of historical religious people come back. So he's not the only one. So it wouldn't even be that special a power.
Yeah.
And not for nothing. What is it? Gilgamesh is part god too?
Yeah, he's a demigod, I think.
I mean, you could say Hercules is real, and then you got yourself another demigod. I guess the idea is that Jesus is all God.
Yeah, I mean, Gilgamesh is supposed to be the first king of Babylon.
Well, you mentioned that literally last episode. All right, well, we're not going to get any headway on Master of Heroes. Last one here, Warrior Shaman.
That's it, I think. That might be actually Japanese, I think.
Again, my problem, some of these epithets are just way too non-specific. I got nothing. What are you thinking about? Every shaman in history?
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Even if I were to do that, I can't think of one. Not one is coming to my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's so many traditions where you have both. You know, you have someone who is a pseudo-religious figure and then also a warrior, so...
Well, I just feel like
it's like saying warrior priest.
I'm in like Jeopardy mode right now, where it's like all the knowledge I have in my head not coming to my head, so I'm just standing there looking like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like saying warrior priest or warrior poet. The warrior poet. There's so many that would fit that description. Or warrior prince. Again, so many that would fit that description. The prince of warriors or something like that. You know.
So out of all of these, I feel like maybe I could have guessed 2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what their reply comment is. We got more notes. Notes for episode 23. Once again, no spoiler. The name Iskander or Iskander is the literal translation of Alexander in Persian/Arabic. Which we know, because I think we've commented on before. There's the element of writing it twice. The difference between them two is the spelling ER instead or AR, which, by the way, I'm pronouncing the same. What do I do? Iskander? Iskandar?
It's interesting because Alexander he wasn't Greek. He was half
Macedonian.
Greek. He was Macedonian by his father's side, Greek by his mother's side. So he claimed to be Greek, because he helped his father conquer Greece, and then he moved into Persia and conquered Persia. And one of the problems that he had with his followers was that he was turning to be too much of a Persian king, literally a king of kings, which was the title of the rulers of Persia. So, yeah, which eventually will lead to the conflation between the title of emperor.
Wasn't his mother trying to kill his father so that Alexander could take the throne as well?
Well, his father dies rather young, and we don't know who did it, but we do know, according to Alexander himself or his chronicles, that that in order to secure his own throne, he went after the murderers and killed all of them. Like, oh, you killed my father, you're gonna pay, right? But the implication is either him or somebody close to Alexander killed his father. And that's how Alexander became king. I
may be conflating things. I think I brought this up before. There is a somewhat anime. I'm not sure if it's considered anime or not. Called Rain. Have you ever seen that?
Heard about it.
All right. You know, rain as in raining over people, not rain as in
raining.
As in raining over people. Yeah. It's in that Aeon Flux style of art, which is literally all about Alexander the Great. With some heavy exaggerations, but I remember that in that one, his mother was like part of a cult or something. It was trying to get him onto the throne, involving having his father be killed.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I know. I was saying because it came out while there was still. It came out of MTV as well. Yeah. So I saw part of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Of Liquid Television, maybe.
Yeah, and it was sort of pseudo sci-fi because it was in the past, but also the future. They had technology and
No,
a
no,
bunch
no.
of
You're
stuff.
thinking of the very end of the show gets all fucking weird. The beginning of the show
Yeah.
is literally Macedonia, and it doesn't go sci-fi at all. It just, I think at the end of the show ends with him like in some weird abyss or something. I think monsters might show up at the
Also,
end. I'm not even sure.
oh, also one thing I was is that one mistake that this anime makes, and I don't know if they repeat it later on. Alexander was known as a great horseman, so he would never have ridden in a chariot. Chariots were already on the way out. In fact, his horseman's defense, when he took, what's the name of the king that he defeated, one of the things that he did was he was able to use he was very good at using his horse in Greece, because the Greeks, due to the geography, didn't rely too much on horses. So he was able to outflank his enemies. And when he came against the chariots of the Persians, who were still kind of using chariots at the time, his horsemen proved to be much better than the chariots. So the chariots was already on the way out by the time Alexander became, he did his conquest. He wasn't known as a great horseman, not charioteer. But in the show, they consistently show him as a charioteer for some reason. I guess it's because it allows him to have, the kid ride with him, and they can both talk. But yeah, although at the very end, he ditches the chariot and just mounts a horse and charges. So I guess at the very end, he is who he's supposed to be, historically speaking. Well, Macedonians did not use chariots at all.
I mean, here's my problem. I've already indicated to you that nothing's coming to my head at the moment. I could swear that I know something of the era. Alexander and two bulls, and he has the bulls pulling his chariot here, so it's like maybe they're pulling from something, but I don't want to also take another half an hour on this, so I'm just gonna leave it be. Obviously, everybody knows Bucephalus, so not gonna contradict anything there. Anyway, next up. They give a timestamp, reference for Enkidu, the only being that Gilgamesh considered a friend. Again, something else we've talked about already. 3. And finally, Gilgamesh's greatest treasure appears, the Sword of Rapture, Ea, mentioned in episode 14, although calling it a sword is a bit of a misnomer, as this divine tool existed long before the very concept of a sword, and its function is much closer to that of a chisel. This was the tool with which the first gods, the Mesopotamians, shaped creation by separating the heaven, the earth, and the underworld. It is named after the Mesopotamian god of the same name, Ea, Enki in Sumerian, god of wisdom and magic, and who is credited with giving order to creation. They put in parentheses here, IRL. In real life? What? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, and creating or designing humankind, depending on the Mesopotamian version. Unlike the many other weapons contained in the Gate of Babylon, this is the only one that was not passed down through history, making it unique in existence. Its blade is a pillar segmented into 3 sections representing heaven, earth, and the underworld. This noble phantasm works as follows. When the 3 sections of the pillar rotate, they do so at immeasurable speed, generating a pressure that tears the fabric of space apart. This is the first EX rank and anti-world type noble phantasm shown in the franchise. As I promised several episodes ago, I'll try to explain in a simple way what this means. First, as we mentioned previously in Fate/Nothing, there are different ranks for servant skills and noble phantasms, from E to A. These ranks are a quantitative way of calculating the power level of a skill. I won't go into this in depth, but surely someone else will. The EX rank is awarded when a skill exceeds the system by which it is measured. Second, as we already mentioned, the types of the abilities are to measure the magnitude of their effect, or in other words, how effective they are against something. Such as Daramon's spears are anti-unit and anti-traumaturgy. Iskander's Ionian Hitori is anti-army. Atoria's Excalibur is anti-fortress, etc. These being the most common. The anti-world type is effective against creation itself and can vary in magnitude without an apparent limit, going from armies to cities or even countries, and even much more. It should be noted that although this type is called anti-world, it does not refer to the scale of a planet. That would be anti-planet, although it is possible that it can reach that magnitude. In Japanese, the word kai, world, is used to describe nature, existence, creation, unlike the word hoshi, world, which describes a planet, star, celestial body. 4. Both Kiritsugu, the mage killer, and Kirai, the priest/executioner, are proper mages. Anyone with magic circuits is a mage. One must necessarily be a mage of a really good level to summon a servant. And although Ryunosuke, Caster's master, wasn't a proper mage, as he has magic circuits, but never used them in his life, the summoning was carried out by the Grail to complete the number of participants and not Ryunosuke himself. This is one of my favorite episodes. Thanks for reading again, and I hope you enjoy the episode you're about to watch. Have a great day, you two.
Yeah. And to correction, because I listened to what you were saying, and it's like I kept saying Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. In fact, Mesopotamia, so he's absolutely correct. Because there's so many kingdoms and histories to that region that,
I still don't know what the IRL stands for. Sorry, the entire time I'm reading, it's in the back of my head. IRL.
I think he's talking about IRL as in real life belief structures, Enki, and all these people are from that history,
right. But
mythology, I suppose.
Everything we talk about here is the understanding that this comes from real life belief stuff.
Yeah, but remember, it comes from there, but it also has the adaptation, that the spin that fate gives it, right? That the writers of the fate give it. It's not 1-to-1.
Okay. Here's the thing. We're talking about Enki, right? God of wisdom and magic, who is credited with giving order to creation, IRL. We don't describe anybody else in any of the comments we've ever read here about, oh, this is a story of Pendragon. King Arthur, IRL. We don't do that. Why? This one time in all the notes that you've ever written, yeah, IRL here. I'm almost thinking IRL stands for something I've never heard before. I was like, if I recall, L. No, it's not that.
Either way, pretty thorough explanation of the whole situation. Thank you very much to both commentators.
Well, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, well, I guess with that said, there's nothing left to do but to hop on in.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I believe the last countdown also we only had like 4 hours left in the Grail War. Oh, the anti-magic bullet thing?
Yeah.
The one made of his own bones? Oh, that's what I was thinking when they were talking about anyone that had the magical circuits, and I was like, didn't he take his bones and turn them into mage killer bullets? And I was like, doesn't that affect?
Yeah.
But then I also remembered when he was fighting, what's his name? He was using like speeding up magic or whatever it was. Well, no, because he was slowing down his own heart rate so the thing couldn't find him. Mm-hmm. And then in like a melee, that guy right there, in the melee, he sped it up too, so it was like tearing his heart apart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah, bastards. Those bastards.
I was also thinking to myself, I gotta send Sevdicue a message to see if we're doing anything after this, if what we are doing after this, like, are we going to the next Fate thing? I've actually got a couple of specials for Fate Zero on hand that I didn't know if we're doing that, or,
Yeah.
Something called Fate Zero Remix, which are both episode length themselves. A bunch of things called Please Eyes Burn Consultation Room, which are also a bunch of 10-minute episode things, when the last one is half an hour. No idea what any of them are about.
Yeah.
So I know we're in a moment here, but also anti-army seems like a really weak power move, because there was only one other person, and that was Hassan, who had 1,000 other people to go against you. Yeah, that thing I was just talking about already. That other thing I was just talking about already. You might remember that I also talked about him fighting in the woods as like a fucking Wolverine type character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also know he's got command spells up his whole fucking arm. The urge to make Bruce Lee noises when he was doing that. Really hard to fight. You know, like when the Flash fights Superman.
Yeah.
Whole movie sucks, but I just like that Flash running around Superman and Superman turning his head to watch it. Oh no. That's how Iko Makanuchi got defeated by Date in the championship fight of Hajime no Ippo. But literally, he has a heart punch. You twist in between heartbeats. Turn into the Grail, yep. And for no reason at all, the Grail floats.
Well, not actually enough, because in the Fisher King story, that's exactly what happens. You see a vision of the Grail floating.
Got the same suit maker as John Wick.
Mm-hmm. Is he gonna take the hit so that he can shoot him in the gut?
I mean, it would be a move this guy would make.
Yeah.
Well, he already covered this as ineffective because he's using his seals for magic. Ow.
Unless you hit the seal itself.
I mean, that's one hell of a way to catch a bullet.
Yeah.
No, they go up his arm. Remember, he took them all from his. Oh, the bullet went up the arm. I see it now. Assuming those are the names of his guns.
Oh, because he stole the guard for
You steal
Sabers.
it. He's always had it.
Yeah,
That's what was keeping his wife alive the whole time, is that she was being regenerated because the saber, not the
Excalibur's
sheath. Couldn't think of the word sheath. The sheath has regenerative properties. My cup runneth over.
Literally.
Well, it's literally also he was saying that at the very end of last episode.
Up on a stage of all things. Because, of course, it isn't a stage. Because
But
all
lessons.
the world's a stage.
Damn it, I was about to say that. That's why prompting. But lessons, all the world's. Okay, come on, man. Now we're doing actual math. I'm not gonna be squaring shit around here. There's a scene right of V from Vendetta. Oh, we're underneath the stage. Makes sense, because he had her body. You know, comparatively, the priest and mage killer fight way more exciting than what's going on with Saber and Berserker.
Yeah. It's what she believes in. Sacrifice for the other. Are knights.
Well, he reverted back to his normal stuff before he died. Because that was a normal face, not the twisted Berserker face. Is that the beach where Saber and his wife were before? I'm gonna guess so, because she's here.
The root? Is this the root?
I think he's just near dead and seeing things. Except there's other people still in the competition. It's real hard not to get maze hused sometimes. Your wife appears in front of you and then you get shot in the head or something.
The Grail and her are one.
Well, they always were. That's the confusing part about this. She was the Grail, and then she dies to make the Grail real. But now she's dead, and the Grail is real, and she's still here. I mean, technically, it's not her, but you know what I mean.
By destroying it.
No, it's like gonna be a sacrifice thing. Not for nothing, on the next time on, we heard his daughter, so... And we know his daughter is going to be the next form of the Grail. So... Or she would be if he doesn't win and make the wish that would make that not be a thing, which was her wish. We don't know if it's actually his wish. The hotel room where we saw him and his lover.
片方の船に300人、もう一方の船に200人。なんだ。総勢500人の乗員乗客と、あとはエミやキリツグ。仮にこの501名を人類最後の生き残りと設定しよう。2隻の船底に同時に致命的な大穴が開いた。船を修復するスキルを持つのはキリツグだけだ。さて。
The one with more people. The one with the more skilled people.
300人が乗った船だ。君がそう決断すると、もう一方の船に乗った200人が君を捕らえてこう要求してきた。こちらの船を先に直せと。さあどうする?
I'm gonna do that. I'm on that ship.
The battle's still ongoing.
Or the priest is trying to defeat him with epilepsy. I guess the I would kill them.
Save the other 300 people, yeah.
I mean, that's a stupid choice. Conversely, you let the 200 people kill one person. I think the right answer is teach somebody else how to fix ships. Again, remember, the preface of this whole trolley problem is that these are the last people on Earth. So you keep killing half the people on Earth. Also the dock where the first fight happened. Or reusing locations. Oh, even damage from the first fight still.
これでは天秤の針があべこべだ。いいや、計算は間違っていない。確かに君は多数を救うべく少数の犠牲を選んでいる。そうだろう、エミやキリツギ。君は常に天秤の針が傾かなかった少数を葬ってきた。たとえそれでおびただしい数の屍が積み重なったとしても、それで救われた命があるなら、守られた数こそが尊いはずだ。これが貴様の見せたかったものか。
And back to the home village again.
これが君の真理。エミやキリツグの中の回答だ。
Well, maybe that's what this was, not the beach where they first away from the.
Oh yeah, that he killed his father. You know, to save other people from what he was doing.
だから僕は奇跡に頼るしかないと。君が知りもしない方法を君の願望に含めるわけにはいかない。
They're the problem of being all powerful, but with a human intelligence. I guess to be fair, he tried to win 2 Grail Wars. Use the first Grail War to wish for the intelligence to know what to do with the second Grail War.
Yep, that's his father.
Still think it was dumb. We already had that argument, though.
まさに君こそがアンリマイ。この世すべての悪を担うのにふさわしい。 さあ、最後の命題だ。
God help you if it has something to do with people on boats.
残りは3人。2人を救うか、1人を選ぶか。
So obviously save your... Well, he loves the other girl. Well, she loves him. I don't know. Yeah, I'm saying he always thought she was a tool.
やっと帰ってきてくれたのね。ね、わかったでしょ。これが聖杯によるあなたの祈りの成就。あとはただそれを祈るだけでいいの。妻をよみがえらせろと、娘を取り戻せと。
Well, your daughter's not dead. Your daughter's back in, I think, Germany. You left her behind.
くるみの目を探しに行くこともできないね。
いいの。イリアはね、キリツグとお母様さえ一緒にいてくれればいいよ。
About that.
ありがとう。父さんもイリアが大好きだ。それだけは違って本当だ。さよなら、イリア。
What are you doing? You're not even her. You're the Grail's impersonation of her. Did you forget you were fake for a minute? You're more fake than the fake woman that was his wife. The homunculus.
なぜ聖杯を私たちを拒むの。
60億の人類と
ロである。エミやキリツグ、
家族2人。
アンリマユがお前を呪う。
僕は
苦しめ、
僕は
死ぬまで
君を殺して
やめ。絶対に
And it's just like that other church scene we were already seeing.
救う。
許さない。
I mean, it makes sense. It's legit what her wish was, to save her daughter from the same fate, because if he makes the wish to save the world, she becomes the Grail in the next Grail War, and she loses her life. So he's damning his daughter to death. It's a visual metaphor. He's damning his daughter to death by wishing for the safety of the world.
なんともつまらぬ結末だな。なぜあれを拒んだ？
貴様にも見えていたのか。
お前は全てを投げ打ち犠牲にしてここまでたどり着いたはずだ。そうまでして手に入れたものの価値をなぜ今になって無にできる？愚かすぎて理解できん。
あれがもたらすものよりも、あれが犠牲にするものの方
I
が。
mean, he doesn't have that morality holding him down.
あれは万能の願望機などではない。
ならば私に譲れ。お前にとって不要なものでも私にとっては有用だ。あれはあんなものが生まれ出るというのなら、私の迷いのすべての答えがもたらされるに違いない。あれは自らの命を、誕生を望んでいる。頼む、殺すな。あれは。
And then there were two.
貴様こそ愚かすぎて理解できないよ。
Funny, because those were like Gilgamesh's words to Iskander. Well, not really. He called him a fool, but he said he was a entertaining fool.
遅いぞセイバー。昔なじみの狂犬と戯れるにしても、この俺を待たせるとは不心得も甚だしい。
あちゃ。
なんという顔をしている。まるで飢えた野生犬のようではないか。
そこをどけ。聖杯は私のものだ。
To be fair, she was fighting with only one arm for most of the show anyway. I know I hit her in the leg, but I'm just saying she's used to being wounded like this. Weird turn.
そんな無論なものに執着する理由がどこにある。くだらぬ理想も誓いとやらもすべて捨てよ。これより先は俺のみを求め、俺のみの色で染まるがいい。さすれば。
Dirty old man, Gilgamesh.
He always was. In the original story, he was.
そんなザレ事のために私の聖杯を奪うのか。
お前の意思など聞いていない。これは俺が下した決定だ。さあ、
Gilgamesh, he was from a different time.
断る。断じて。
I'm assuming she's gonna get her sheath thrown back to her, and she's gonna heal those wounds.
俺に尽くす喜びを知るにはまず痛みを持って学ぶべきだからな。
Well, the last seal. That's the name of the episode.
ようやく決心がついたか。
エミやキリツグの名のもとに霊示をもって命ず。
私に聖杯を。
セイバーよ、宝具にて聖杯を破壊せよ。
And you have to do it, even if it's against what you wish.
何のつもりだ、セイバー。
違う。
第三の霊示をもって重ねて命ずる。
You can't disobey, though. We already learned that from Deermud, who killed himself with a command spell.
我が根義を邪魔立てするか。殺手。
セイバー、聖杯を
やめろ。
破壊しろ。
Wow.
There you go.
That was only 13 minutes. The last next time on was 3:55, and it's a countdown. So it's been 13 minutes. The 24 minutes we just watched was 13 minutes. This is
So
a Dragon Ball Z moment.
Yeah.
The 1 minute
So basically,
countdown that's 20 episodes long.
Gilgamesh is not going to fight to defeat her. Gilgamesh is going to protect the Grail from her.
I don't even know why that makes sense. Because he's like, why would you want the Grail? Something that grants miracles, that's pretty dubious. It's like, so he doesn't particularly want the Grail either. So what's the point? He should just like,
power.
I guess the only point for him to defend the Grail is that I didn't say you could do that. That ego of Gilgamesh that we talked about. Because otherwise, this is just a Kiritsugu is not the man anybody thought he was. Us
Also,
maybe, but the point is that the woman that was in love with him, he treated like a tool. As you saw, he stabbed her to death when it was him or his family. Irisvel just wanted her daughter to escape the cycle of homunculi becoming the Grail, and he's like, nah, I'm not about that either. So it's just like, no one that was in a relationship with Kiritsugu was accurate about who he really was. Possibly including his mentor.
その顔を覚えている。目に涙をためて心の底から喜んでいる。
Oh, he's talking about Enkidu.
男は何かに感謝するように。ありがとうと言った。
Okay, because the thing about the story of Gilgamesh, one of the parts of the story is that Gilgamesh became king of Mesopotamia, right? Or I think. And because he was a king, he had the right to take the wives of the men of the city. The pleas of the men and the women of the city, the people, because he was seen as a tyrant, came to the priestess of, I believe, Ishtar, mistaken, could be somebody else. And she pleaded to the gods to bring a champion to stop him from doing that. That's where Enkidu, Enkidu was created by the gods, but he was a wild man and a beast outside. And the priestess of Ishtar, correctly, goes to him and pacifies him, right? And then says, by the way, there's a tyrant, Gilgamesh. So they fight, and they fight to the very end, and them can't defeat each other. And Gilgamesh is like, "Oh, I have met my match in Enkidu." And Enkidu says, "We will continue to fight unless you change your ways." And it's like, "Oh, I value your friendship more than I value my empty power here. So we will journey together. We will fight together. We'll be best friends." And Gilgamesh basically stops being a tyrant, right? This confrontation. Eventually, Enkidu dies, and Gilgamesh goes into a long pilgrimage to become immortal. But blah blah blah. He finds out that immortality isn't really worth it. So eventually, he returns to Ur and is like, "I will live the rest of my days as just and true king." I mean, that's the version I remember from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which could be this very much. Immortality could have come through the veil. He is, like we said before, he is pre-Enkidu Gilgamesh, right? So see how if they use that at all, and they were talking about Enkidu, man who had to smile on his face because he was a hero and enjoyed life, right? And then became afraid of losing that life when his best friend died. So it could be that, it could be something different, but
I mean, I guess he could get a vision from the Grail the same way that Kiritsugo did. In that vision from the Grail, well, no, because we already covered that he has the memories of everything. He is pre-Enkidu Gilgamesh, as you said.
Yeah.
But he would still have the memories of everything that happens after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would already have the knowledge of that, even... Sorry, my brain is like, does that make any sense? Because if you have the memories of it, then it's the same as... Is memory not the same as experience?
Well, depending on how you
Okay, here's my real world example, right? I got a tooth pulled recently, right?
Yeah.
And in getting the tooth pulled, I got put into sedation. Granted, they did a horrible fucking job. I was awake for the whole goddamn thing, felt every goddamn thing. But the thing that they mentioned ahead of time was that I would remember it, right? I might not experience it, but I would remember it happening. Because a similar thing had happened a long time ago when I got like all 4 wisdom teeth removed at the same time, which was that I have a memory of waking up near the end and feeling them doing stuff, but the idea that you could experience a thing in the modern world and have memories of it, does that not also the same thing?
Well, they are phantasms. Well, not phantasms, that's their weapons. They are constructs of what their summoners want and expect, plus the sort of shared ideal of what they're supposed to be.
Right. But so the idea that the servants have the memories of everything that they've been through, not just them, but all of history.
Is he remembering in the way that you say, "Oh, I remember this," because you saw it through a third party, you read a book or something like that, and you might think that it's you, or do you remember it as being all of it being you, like all in one? Like, I did this. This happened to me. I remember doing these things, as opposed to, "Oh, I know these things happened. A version of me did this or happened to him."
I think. Did you watch the Loki shows?
I watched the first season. I had to watch the second season.
Well, I think what I'm talking about happens in the first season, where he witnesses his own death. And that's what changes him. Yeah. Literally, what you're describing is how does he interpret the knowledge that he has of what's happened, and the only example I can think of applying here is the Loki example, which is Loki is confronted with the knowledge of what's happened, and in seeing that, even though it's not something he's experienced, still knowing that it happened was enough to change him. And Gilgamesh would still have the same sort of effect, even if he's not experiencing it memory-wise. He still has the knowledge of it, and he knows that this is what's happened, and that this is a version of him, if not him himself, that was changed by it. It'd be like jumping 100 years into the future, and then reading obituaries and finding out how you died, and then affecting your life to change yourself.
If you choose to change your life that way, because I don't know how much these summons actually have free will. He seems to have a lot of free will.
He has all the free will until the seal is used.
Yeah, so he could decide, oh yeah, I know this, but I choose not to.
Also, wait a second.
For
How is
whatever
he still
reason.
around?
Because his master is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, remember
and-
the mana would linger, right?
But no. Because remember, he was using he was using the command spells to power himself down there, and he got shot through the arm, so that magic went away.
Yeah.
And there's not really any magic left for him to use.
The Grail.
Like he doesn't have
Grail's what
any
keeping
power
him.
over the Grail.
No, but the Grail has power over everything. Because I think ultimately this is a manipulation of the Grail itself. The Grail has its own entity, its own thinking, and and it's all of this is about. Because I think what's going to really happen is that there's no wish. It's that you're basically liberating something there is in the Grail every time you make a wish. You're making the Grail more powerful, something like that. So I think it's actually all this is manipulation of the Grail. The Grail's like, oh, I want him to stay. Because I want this fight. I want what I want to be done.
I mean, that shouldn't be the thing. Literally, he should be gone because he's running out of mana. Because one thing, he's using up all his mana with the phantasms and everything too.
Yeah,
as we just saw in the previous episode, where it's not Mitsuyu, Berserker's Master. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Berserker's Master dies, and Berserker loses all strength immediately afterwards. Caster only succeeded for a while after Ryunosuke died because the monster that he summoned was eating energy and feeding it right into him. That's the only thing that kept him going. Gilgamesh should be gone. I mean, here's my problem is I don't buy into your reasoning because I haven't been shown anything. Yours is a hypothetical, and
but we know that the Grail has even created summons just to even things out. So Caster was brought together because
it didn't create. It didn't create. It found somebody to be the. Apparently, there has to be a certain number of people, right? It didn't create Ryunosuke. It just found Ryunosuke. That's
it found him, but
that's different.
The fact that it could do that by itself.
Well, we already know it has a personality.
Else. Well, there you go.
It took the form. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's doing what you're describing. I would argue it doesn't even define that it has the ability to do so.
It's
if it had the ability
available.
to do so, why would it be begging Kiritsugo to do things? It seems like it doesn't have any authority to do anything. It needs an outside presence to do a thing.
Well, I mean, if it knows that Kiritsugo wants to destroy it, and it just commanded, what's his name, Saber to do it, then it would have to defend itself, and I think that's why it's powering up.
But my impetus here is that shouldn't even happen, or not even happen. That shouldn't be concerned in the first place, because Gilgamesh should be gone. There should be nobody there to defend it from the point of finding out that Kiritsugo wants to destroy it.
The thing is that if the rules are have to have.
Hold on, you're breaking up. Whatever your fix is for your mic thing.
If the rules are that this fight has to happen this way, just happen this way. I don't know. I mean, the only source of magic is the winner. The Grail.
The problem here is Kiritsugo is the winner. Gilgamesh, there's no other master. The masters make the wish. There's no other master. Kiritsugo is the last one here. Gilgamesh is going to make the wish. The impetus when Iskander was talking about what his wish would be wasn't that Iskander was going to make the wish. It was that Waver would make the wish for Iskander.
Yeah.
There's no other master. Kiritsugo is the last one. When the Grail is talking to him, I don't know. I feel like that was given out of order too. Because the Grail's like, hey, make this wish. And, what's his name? Still on the ground, alive. And then he comes out of that. And, oh, you saw that too? Bam, shoots him dead. Should have been, bam, shoots him dead. Then the Grail tries to implore him to make the wish that it wants him to make. Or what it believes it wants him to make, because it has, the mentality of his wife. And we already knew the wife wanted to, secure a future for their daughter to not become a homunculus. Well, actually, they said the daughter is half homunculus, and it's not going to have, a full lifespan because of that. And it will become the Grail the same as she was, and she wants better for her daughter in the future, which was 2 episodes back we saw in that whole thing. So, I guess she is all the Grail was her. It's not her. Like I said, we're 2 steps away from a person. that she is a homunculus of an actual person, and then the Grail version of her is a recreation of a homunculus of an actual person. We're 2 steps away from a person.
Yeah, well, I guess aside from the next episode trying to explain this, maybe the only source of power in the whole thing has to be the Grail. It's the only thing that can be.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The meta spoiler of it all, right, is that we know that this is a prequel to everything.
Yeah.
And obviously, if the impetus is, oh god, does Saber destroy the Grail? No, obviously not. There's more shows. Like, the main show to come, right? Fate Stay Night, I believe, is the main one. And if the Grail is there, and it has to be, because it'd be insane to have a show about not the Grail. Like, we set up this whole Grail War thing, but we really just want to set up the characters for the next show, which have nothing to do about a Grail War.
Well, the bits and pieces... I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, don't spoil anything. I'm saying that the meta spoiler is just the obvious thing that there's another show. And if there's another show, there's another Grail War. So, obviously, if the conceit is, oh god, does Saber destroy the Grail? Then no has to be the answer. Well, I mean, maybe she does, actually, thinking about it. Maybe she does destroy the Grail, which means a no wish gets made, and if no wish gets made, we just go on to the next Grail War. Maybe destroying the Grail is no ramifications whatsoever.
Maybe.
I think the implication given was that the only way to stop the Grail War, or the Grail, is to wish the Grail away.
It was ordering her to destroy it. So,
which I don't think is going to work. I don't think you can destroy it. I think you need the power of the Grail to destroy the Grail.
Nothing else to say, basically. Oh, all right. I thought he froze.
No, I just sitting really still.
Yeah, like, oh shit, no, he froze.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess if that's everything, then once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?